Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic here, and today I'm bringing you, after quite a while, a battle in Rome 2. It is a 2 versus 2, and it was pretty close, I would say, and pretty fun. So let's take a look at the army comps. I've got it on slow speed just because it's a 10-minute battle, and it does kind of kick off quite quickly. So I am playing as Athens, and I don't usually play as them, but they are a very strong Greek faction, so decided to try them out. And then I have a Roman ally, and then we are facing 2 Roman armies. And you can see the balance of power just a little bit out of our favor. So I think it was 10k per player or something. It was on large funding. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Praetorian Guard and a general for my ally. He kind of just brought the best of the best that he could get. For me, I've got 8 units of thorax swordsmen because they are pretty cost-effective. I've got 4 on each flank. Or do I have 8 or 6? I have 6. I'm sorry. 6 units of them. And I've got 3 units of pikes, 3 units of hoplites kind of together. And 3 units of archers, 3 units of citizen cav, and a Hippeus lancer as my general. Looking at the enemies, what do they got here? A lot of legionary cohort. Looks like 9 units of them. And he's got 6 units of velites. He has his legatus. 2 units of soci equite extraordinari. And an equite. And then the other Rome faction, or sorry, the other Rome player. He's brought some evocati cohort. Looks like 4 of them, and he's got 5 armored legionaries, and he has a legatus, legionary cavalry times 2, and a soci equite extraordinari. So yeah, let's let this battle kick off. Kind of get some shots of the men marching forwards. So I'm just trying to kind of form up. I haven't really decided what the Romans are going to do. Obviously, they have the advantage as far as the heavy infantry goes. And I was a little bit worried because my ally, he did bring the best of the best, but he has no cav. And this guy has 3 units of cav, so I was really concerned about rear charges there. But you can see I've kind of changed my mind. I'm going to deploy all of my thorax swordsmen to the one flank, just because I'm probably going to need some help against these legionary cohort. And he does have the skirmisher advantage, which is quite surprising with Rome. Usually they kind of just spam the heavy infantry, just like you see on this side, bringing really no skirmishers. But this guy's got a good mix, a good army. I love the armored legionaries. They just look so classic. Or the legionary cohort, sorry. And then I've got my very thin line of Athenian warriors.
We'll have work aplenty soon.
Looks that way. Bastards.
So I'm trying to get in range of his archers, and I can see that my ally, he's just going for it. I think he realizes that the armored legionnaires and the evocati cohort, they are far inferior to his Praetorian Guard. Like, these are the cream of the crop, pretty much. And this is actually historically inaccurate. I was reading up on the Praetorian Guard, and actually, they were mostly the guards of the Emperor, and they really never left the city. Like, there was a couple times when the Emperor went to the front lines of the battle that a unit would follow them, but I think it was only 260 men total for the Praetorian Guard. So if they ever make another Rome game, probably putting the Praetorian Guard as like a one-time unit type thing, like capped to 1 unit. But yeah, so he started to engage. I am not so eager to engage, but you can see that I'm pulling my cav. I will be pulling, there they are, I was looking for them, but I will be pulling my cav over here because I see that he's flanking around with some of his legionary cavalry already. The Roman player smartly putting all of his cohort into testudo formation, so that way I pretty much cannot fire on them at all. It would just be wasting my ammo at this point. Yeah, you can see my cav. They're gonna rush over to the other side to help. my ally, who has already been rear charged. Oh, yep. And the general for my ally is in the mix as well. And I'm going to bring over my general as well. Nice shock cavalry with the Hippeus Lancers. And let's get a nice shot of this as well. Ooh, getting some good hits. Lower your pikes, men. Nice. Just kind of in time, but not really. And I've got my hoplites in the center as well. That way I can kind of stretch out my pikes to a 2-unit formation, but still have the mass to hold back the legionaries. And I've got a massive flank of thorax swordsmen forming on this side. Let's run over here. Yes, you can see that my cav has engaged the enemy cav. I've got to remember to slow down my camera speed for Rome 2. I've done it for Attila finally, but for Rome 2 I'm still zipping around everywhere. So yeah, we're definitely crushing the legionary cav. Not only do we outnumber him, but now he's pinned between 2 armies. Yeah, and you can see that one of them is already breaking. And the Equites Extraordinari will break very soon as well. You can see that this player, he realizes that he's going to be beat, so he's pulling his general back, which is a smart idea. You don't want to lose him too early in the battle. Looking here, the Romans are penetrating my lines quite nicely. I was a little concerned about that at first. Hold them back, hoplites, hold them back. But because I had so many free units here, I was able to flank around with my thorax swordsman, which is really, really good for me. He tries to close the gap with his legionary cohort, but I'm going to ignore them. I would rather get into the rear of the legionary cohorts and cause the morale penalties. And I'm just going to slow them down with this 1 unit of thorax swordsman here. And I've still got 3 other units that I can flank around, so it's looking quite good. I've also got my archers, let's slow this down a bit. I've also got my archers focusing in this huge blob of velites, and you can see that the legionary cohort is starting to rout. Over on this side, also not looking good for the enemy player. I was able to get some nice rear charges on his armored legionaries, and the Praetorian Guard just held beautifully. Like, this flank was a little crushed just because of the rear cav charges, but yeah, so he is doing quite well, and you can see that the balance of power is tipped into our favor. Yeah, they're starting to rout now. The pikes on hoplite formation is a really, really good tactic. I find that you can get more out of your pikemen because they do have really low defense, but if you put hoplites in the mix that have a ridiculously high defense, like they have 65 armor and, or no, 80 armor, 72 melee defense. And the pikes, obviously not as much. But, yeah, so we're doing really, really well over here. His lines are really crumbling at this point. He sent in some of his cav to try to rear charge my thorax swordsman, but unfortunately it's just too late. I've got the center line, which I was most worried about, and I even have a couple of units to still try and zone out his cav, which is great. See, yeah, he is going to try to pull his cav over. He may even actually try and charge into these thorax swordsmen here. And yeah, he's definitely going to get them in a good charge. Oh, yep. Yeah, that just like obliterated probably 30 men in that unit. Actually not. Oh, he knocked down a lot, but it didn't kill one. Wow, very, very good thorax swordsman. I think they're only like 700, so they're so cost effective. Yeah, you can see I'm moving all of my cav over here. I want to get into the velites, get them off the battle, and also cut off the head of the snake, going after the legatus. Yeah, but most of the Roman infantry has routed at this point. And we've actually got a little cohort sandwich over here. So they're fighting back to back. That is never a good sign. And if you look over there, the poor thorax swordsmen, they're just being mobbed by cav. But I've got my pikes forming up just in case they decide to break. But they are still holding strong with 85 men, which is excellent. I'm using my general as bait over here. I kind of want to pull them away from any of the infantry that's going to try and join the battle there. So he does catch my general. I didn't get a good charge off, which I probably should have since he's a lancer unit. But that's okay. I've got my melee cav closing in behind as well. And you can see my ally. He's got his Praetorian Guard kind of coming around the flank. Yeah, we got the cav battle here. I really, really like Rome 2. Like, now that Attila's out and so many of the good mods, like Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD, but this is just still such a classic game. It's one of my favorite time periods, and I definitely will continue to play it, that's for sure. You can just see the mayhem. Oh yeah, there's my cav going into the routing legionary cohort. That was a good charge. And on the other side, they've got a little clump of troops still fighting, but it's definitely a losing battle. We killed one of the legatuses there. And actually, my general did die, like, right at the end of the battle, so I was a little concerned about that, but we've got this. We've got it. Very, very close battle. Costly victory indeed. Let's end the replay, take a look at the results here. Pretty even numbers, I would say. This army had a little bit more, but not by much. So looking at my army, my cav doing quite well with the rear charges and such. My archers doing really well. Pretty much all around doing pretty good. My ally, of course, the Praetorian Guard, they are going to perform well in battle. And looking at the... Oh, that's James123 Frost as well. Thanks very much, man, for playing. And we got Popey and Patricus. So looking at Popey's army, Velites... getting some kills, but not enough. And his legionaries, they just couldn't get into battle with the pikes and the hoplite formation. And his cav doing okay. And I think this is the army that was facing James123 Frost. So he really tried. He had the right idea with going behind with the cav. But unfortunately, I was right there to block that. So... yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more Rome 2 content on my channel, and I will see you in the next one.